Good morning, all of you. Thanks for joining us for this webinar on stress management through Sahaja Yoga meditation. We are going to start in another few minutes. We are just waiting for other attendees to join. Good morning, all of you. Thanks for joining us for this webinar on stress management through Sahaja Yoga meditation. We are going to start in another few minutes. We are just waiting for other attendees to join. So the agenda for today's meditation is I have Mr. Ram NP with me as one of the panelists to start the webinar. Mr. Ram is the delivery head of the cyber systems and risk management at Wipro and is based out of Pune. He has been doing Sahaja Yoga meditation for more than 15 years and has given realization to more than 5,000 people, has taught Sahaja Yoga meditation to more than 5,000 people. And today he'll start this webinar with an introduction on Sahaja Yoga. It'll be followed by a talk by Dr. Rajiv Kumar, who is the vice chairman of Niti Aayog. He has been practicing Sahaja Yoga for more than 30 years. And he'll take us through his journey of Sahaja Yoga, and he'll share with us all his experiences on Sahaja Yoga. And after that, we will practice the spontaneous meditation called Sahaja Yoga meditation. So now I'll hand over this webinar to Mr. Ram NP. Mr. Ram, welcome, and please take it over.
Thank you, Saurabh. Welcome all. Thank you very much for joining this excellent, wonderful session of stress management through discovering yourself. Okay.
How's YouTube live going?
Now, stress. What is stress? Stress is nothing but the gap between expectation and reality. We are constantly struggling in fighting the unreal. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say when we are in front of a tiger, we have constant palpitations, we sweat, and that's a natural body phenomenon. Now, imagine you're sleeping, and you again have the same image of a tiger in front of you in a dream. And at that time, you again have the same reaction in your body. Your body again has palpitations and you start sweating. Okay. However, the difference in this scenario, earlier was the reality, second was unreal. Now, if this happens one time, that is okay. But now let's imagine a situation, what happens in corporates, what happens in organizations. I've been in this corporate world for the last 20 years. And I have been running the rat race like you and probably discovered early what's happening. So when we are running this rat race, we go through this imagining of the tiger in front of us every day that we are running this number game. Every time that we are running this number game, the targets, we have this continuously. And this tiger keeps coming in front of us. And it's happening in the office. It's happening when you come home, when you're brushing, when you're getting ready, when you're driving. And continuously we are having these numbers, these targets, resulting in palpitations, sweating, and what we call as stress. Now, stress, as they say, has become an epidemic. In the recent studies that we have seen in the US, they say 95% of the illnesses in the corporate world are related to stress. Okay. So I have a few slides which I would want to start sharing. So today we are going to talk about stress, and we are going to talk about how Sahaja Yoga meditation will help us manage stress. We heard what is stress. Now we will try to understand what happens in us that results in this stress. Okay. In medical terminology, what is health? Health is a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being of a person, but not merely an absence of a disease. Sahaja Yoga, as taught by Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi, goes to address all the facets of health and touches the roots of the problem. All our age-old scriptures have this very well documented. However, this is not practiced in daily life now. I mean, we lost this practice. So what Sri Mataji has done is she made a very simple technique called Sahaja Yoga meditation. And she helped us come out with a practice where we can balance ourselves within very less time in this modern robotic world. This is what Sri Mataji has taught through Sahaja Yoga in a very, very beautiful way. So what is balance? I use the word balance. Balance is the practice of being in the present, not in the past, not in the future, but being in the present. And meditation refers to that state of being in the present where we are thoughtless, where there is a clear gap between one thought and another thought. How does this happen? How do we get into the state of thoughtless awareness? I'll touch on briefly before I let Dr. Rajiv Kumar talk on the subject. When the Kundalini energy rises in a person along the line of our spine, it shows its presence on the limbic area, and we get our self-realization. And it becomes a life force in us. This we can start feeling in our hands, at the fingertips, and at the surface of our palms. This doesn't happen in any other yoga, only in Sahaja Yoga, where you actually have this life force experience on your central nervous system. And it's an actual feeling that you feel. Now, this one is a feeling that happens on our central nervous system, and that's what is reality. So why does a person get sick? Sickness is a result of a person's thoughts, habits, surroundings, and environment. Sahaja Yoga starts to work on the tattva, the root of where the diseases start. So Sahaja Yoga works on the autonomous nervous system. And what is autonomous nervous system? Like when we eat our food, how does it get digested? It gets digested by itself. When we see, how do our eyes work? They work by themselves. We breathe in, we breathe out by itself. So this by itself is what is the autonomous nervous system. Okay, and the Sahaja Yoga practice actually works on the autonomous nervous system, and it helps you utilize the same activities that are done by the body to eat our food, to see everything that happens on our central nervous system is helping us come into balance. Okay. With that, I will now start Dr. Kumar's video.
Namaskar, and a very warm welcome to you to this special webinar on Sahaja Yoga, which is perhaps the most powerful and the most innovative methods of relieving stress in these very hard times. Sahaja Yoga is an invention for the 21st century, made by Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi, who started this practice in 1970, in May 1970. By now, Sahaja Yoga is being practiced in perhaps more than 90 countries all around the world. There are literally hundreds of thousands of us, Sahaja Yogis, who are benefiting by this practice morning and on a daily basis. I myself started Sahaja Yoga in 1998 when I was going through a period of great stress because my young son, who was 5 years old at that time, had developed some asthma and other related diseases. I was myself going through a phase of a career where things seemed to have come to a stop. I had got into the habit of all forms of addictions, and therefore was not keeping well myself. And as a colleague of mine, when I was in the Institute of Foreign Trade, remarked, my family, were a regular visitor to the doctors, and we were chasing doctors on a weekly, daily basis. At that point of time, I was introduced to Sahaja Yoga by a medical doctor who had done his MBBS, but who later gave up his practice because the medical practice couldn't cure him of his paralysis, but Sahaja Yoga did. So Sahaja Yoga also has some very strong therapeutic and remedial aspects to it, apart from the fact that it helps you to relieve yourself from the daily stresses that you might be going through in your work life because of your family conditions, or just simply because of the pace of life that we have got ourselves into at this point of time. I want to assure you that this is by far the best thing that's happened to me and my family. Even my 89-year-old mother, who is a regular practitioner of Sahaj, benefits from it and feels protected and feels joyful even at this age. So I'm going to strongly recommend this for you, because Sahaja Yoga is a form of meditation which can lead you into the deepest of spiritual journeys. It can help you to discover your deepest and your highest spiritual aspirations on the one hand. And on the other hand, it helps you to go through life in a very Sahaj manner. In a manner in which you feel protected, in which you feel that you are being helped by some forces which are beyond our own comprehension, and things sort themselves out for you. And as you can well imagine, when things become easy to manage, when things sort themselves out for you, your stress gets automatically reduced. The most important part, a very important part of Sahaja Yoga also is that it helps us to get rid of both our egos and our conditionings. Those are the two attributes that human beings have, which lead them into all kinds of stressful situations. And once you get over them in a spontaneous manner, in a manner which doesn't require your big effort, which in a manner which comes from within, as it were, then you can well imagine that your relationships improve, your efficiency at work improves, your health, physical health improves, your mental equilibrium improves, and of course, you get rid of your stresses that get mounted on a daily basis. You know, Sahaja Yoga also is amazing because it doesn't require you to follow any particular rituals or forms and practices. Sahaja Yoga, in some sense, is a method of meditation, is a method of a spiritual journey, is a method of finding yourself, which is catered to each one of us. It is tailor-made for each one of us. Each one of us can have one's own journey in Sahaja Yoga. Therefore, there are no shoulds in Sahaja Yoga. There is nothing like you should be doing this or you should be doing that. Nothing like that. You can start your meditation in the morning, whenever the time is available to you. You can start your meditation later in the day. You can do your meditation while you're traveling in the car or in your local train or in flights. And you don't need to feel guilty ever of having missed some practice of of meditation, etc. As you can see for all Sahaja Yogis, and you can see for myself, there are no prescribed norms for dresses or uniform or the way you behave or the way you conduct yourself. You lead a normal life. You lead the life of what we call a grahast. You lead a family life. In fact, and while leading that family life, while discharging your duties as a good professional, as a good manager, as a good worker, Sahaja Yoga helps you to getting deeper and deeper and to getting to know yourself through the process of what Mataji calls as self-enlightenment. And it is the self-enlightenment which is the key for all meditative practices throughout the ages. So therefore, Sahaja Yoga helps you to do whatever you're doing better, more efficiently, with less stress and with less effort. So if you are a father, it helps you to look after your children in a more joyful, in a more joyous, in a more easy manner. If you're a husband, of course, your relationship with your wife improves, your son, you're able to respect your parents much better. So it helps you to do whatever you're doing in a more efficient, in a calmer, in a more less effortful manner that you've done so far. So Sahaja Yoga therefore really makes life simpler, makes life more Sahaj. And Sahaj, as you know, the meaning of the word is, Sahaj means simple, but also there is another meaning of the word Sahaj. Sahaj means born with you. Saha, Sahaja, Ja meaning born, and Sah meaning together. By which Sri Mataji meant that all that you need to do in Sahaj, all that you need to do in Sahaj is all that requirement is already within you, is within your body. It's something that you are born with. That therefore the entire mechanism is born with you. And I'm sure there is a chart which is placed here, where you can see that our body has a very subtle system within us, which is made up of the 3 channels, or the 3 nadis, the Pingala, the Ida, and the Sushumna. The Sushumna is the central channel. The Sushumna is the central nadi, which enables, where you have to, be performing. The Pingala is your right channel, is the solar channel, is the channel of your action, of your future planning, and Ida, or the lunar channel, is the channel of your desire. Now, very often in our lives, in our work, we are working either through the predominant use of the Ida Nadi or the use of the Pingala Nadi, and the result of which we get imbalanced, which is why we want to come to our Sushumna Nadi. We want to lead our life in a balanced manner, which is what Lord Buddha talked about in terms of the Madhyama, and that is what the Sushumna Nadi is. Along with those 3 channels, you also have within us the 7 chakras, which are there already, and these are, you can see them in the chart. They start off with the Muladhara chakra at the base of your spine, and they go up to Sahasrara, which is at the top of your, right here, in the top of your head, the area which used to be soft when you're a little baby. And you can see that in the baby, that the area which is soft, that is where the Sahasrara chakra is located. When we are 6 weeks into the mother's womb, the Kundalini, which is the residual energy of the Paramatma, which is the residual energy of this great cosmic energy that you have, enters our body when we are 6 weeks in the mother's womb, enters the body through the Sahasrara, through the Brahmarandra area, as it is called, and it vibrates all the organs of our body, and then settles down in this triangular bone that you see at the base of our spine, which the Greeks used to call the sacrum bone. And it is the sacrum bone because that therein resides your Kundalini in 3 coils in a sleeping, dormant situation, waiting for somebody to awaken it, waiting for the seeker, waiting for the person, each person to connect with a Satguru, because it is the Satguru who can awaken the Kundalini. And the definition of Sadguru is very clear in our scriptures and in our traditions, which is a Sadguru is one whose only job is that of connecting you with God. Whose only job is that of connecting you with God. And the Sadguru doesn't need to perform miracles. The Sadguru doesn't need to produce sort of fancy stuff to attract you. The Sadguru doesn't need to perform any magic. The role of the Sadguru is that of connecting you with the God Almighty, with the Param Chaitanya, with the Paramatma. As soon as the Kundalini comes in contact with, or comes in face to face with either the Sadguru or the photograph of the Sadguru, it begins to awaken. It begins his journey up the Sushumna toward the Brahmarandha, and it comes to the Sahasrara. And when it reaches the Sahasrara, when it rises up along the Sushumna and reaches the Sahasrara, it connects with the primordial energy. It connects with the Param Chaitanya. And as soon as that connection happens, the yoga is performed. Yoga means connection. Yoga means joining together. Do is char. We don't do yoga, we attain yoga. And once we attain that yoga, once we attain that yoga, you become nirvichar, you become thoughtless. And as soon as you are thoughtless, your mind, your brain stops working. You cannot force your brain to stop working by using your brain, your mind. That's just simply contradictory. So all attempts to stop the working of the mind through focusing, through chanting, through sort of, trying to just sort of, focus on some object, etc., or controlling your breath, I think they just don't work, because you're still working, your mind is still constantly working. to go above the mind, which Adi Shankaracharya said is the last sheath separating the human being from the Param Chaitanya. The mind is the last sheath, remember. You have to go beyond it to achieve your thoughtlessness. You achieve your nirvichar samadhi. And once you achieve the nirvichar samadhi, your mind gets the deepest of rest. The deepest of rest. Within a few minutes, the mind, as it were, gets a complete rest. It's like reaching, the absolute zero. You can be as cool as that. So there's no entropy at that point in time. There is no action of the mind. There's no activity, mental activity, and you get thoughtless. As a result of which, all your stresses disappear, and your mind comes at peace. Comes to a situation where it gets connected with the Param Chaitanya, and the Param Chaitanya then takes over and starts helping you and working its way, making its way to make for simplifying your life's journey. I assure you, friends, that if you start the practice of Sahaja Yoga, which is so simple, because that's what the name connotes, the only thing that you need in Sahaja Yoga is to have a pure desire to achieve your thoughtlessness. The only thing that you need. And the other only thing that you need is to accept Shri Mataji, whom we call Mother also, to accept Shri Mataji for what she is, which is the Purna Avatar of the Adi Shakti, meant for the 21st century. Why meant for the 21st century? Because in Sahaja Yoga, she's made this amazing invention of integrating all forms of religion within one. So that each Sahaja Yogi all over the world has to respect all the incarnations, whether it's Jesus Christ, or it's Muhammad Sahib, or it's Lao Tse, or it's Confucius, or it's Janak, or it's Ganesh, or it's Dattatreya. They all have to be respected because, as she says, they are all part of the same tree and they have established the dharma within us. So today in this world, which is otherwise globalizing, which is otherwise coming together in many ways, the only thing which is fragmenting us, which is pulling us apart, is this, is the very spurious and negative form of religion which the people are spreading. Religions are taking people away. On the other hand, once you get into Sahaja Yoga, not only do you get your peace, you get your inner peace, but you start respecting in a very true sense every religion in its purest form. Not as it is being, not as it is being pandered around, not as it is being marketed today by fundamentalists. No, but in its purest form, because ultimately, as you and I know, every religion leads to the same goal, which is to realize that our Atma is a part of the Paramatma, and that our goal in this life is to connect the Atma with the Paramatma. Because if you do that, if that happens with us, then you achieve an evolutionary leap. I recommend that book to you, the same title. It's written by some very good professor from INSEAD, Maurizio Zollo, and 4 other co-authors, Callan and Costin, and so on. They are saying that in the 21st century, the Homo sapiens have to evolve into Homo spiritualis. And if we evolve into Homo spiritualis, then our life becomes much more joyful. We expect, we experience Anand, we experience Niranand. And the difference between that and happiness is that Niranand and Anand gets born from within you. And once you evolve into Homo spiritualis, then this world, if all of us are in there, will become much less stressful, will become, in some sense, the blossom time will have come, and we will all get into the garden of the divine, which is what God meant for us. So, if you're ready now, if you think that this is, that you are convinced that this is something that is worth trying, and I can assure you from my life's experience that this is something more than worth trying. Everything that I could have possibly, desired, as it were, every possible difficulty in my life has been removed very simply because of my surrender to Shri Mataji and to Param Chaitanya. The only thing that we require from you, friends, in this time is, one, to desire that you achieve your self-enlightenment, that you achieve your Atma Sakshatkar, and that you give up your ego just for a few minutes and surrender to Sri Mataji, surrender to what she is doing and accept her as Sadguru. Because once you accept her as Sadguru, the rest is just simply plain sailing. And therefore, if you're all prepared now, we can get into the experiencing. Because again, one thing which is very important in Sahaja Yoga is that we do not believe very much in mental exercises. We do not believe in reading books after books after books, because those just satisfy our mental activity and our ego. We believe in experiencing the thoughtless awareness right here and now. We believe that once you, as Mataji's mother has put it, once you taste the fruit, once you taste the nectar, then you will be after it. And that's what, friends, we should try and do just now. Because I hope that in this webinar, you go back from having tasted, having experienced your thoughtlessness right away. And if you're prepared, we can do it in the next 3 minutes.
Friends, now we would have Sri Mataji go through the process of self-realization. So we request all of you to remove any footwear that you might have, so you can have direct contact with Mother Earth and have your palms open as we have Sri Mataji run us through the process of self-realization and Kundalini awakening.
Now, what you have to do, it's all right, I'll manage. You have to put both your hands towards me like this, just like this, simple. Just like this. Now, firstly, I have to tell you that you should not feel guilty. That's also another fashion in the West, to feel guilty. If you have done anything wrong, it's finished and gone, the path. I am talking of the present. So, whatever you have done wrong according to you, you need not correct it by torturing yourself. So, please don't feel guilty at all. Because if you feel guilty, this center catches and creates a problem for the Kundalini twice. So please don't feel guilty at all. I mean, if you are guilty, you would have been in jail, not here. So have a very pleasant attitude towards yourself, very happy attitude towards yourself. So please don't feel guilty for anything. Then second thing, very important, is for this center is here, to forgive everyone. Now, one may say, very difficult, Mother, to forgive everyone. How can you forgive? I'll give you the logic behind it. If you forgive or don't forgive, what do? Do nothing, just the same. But if you don't forgive, then you torture yourself for nothing at all. That is why you must forgive. Just to say, Mother, I forgive everyone is sufficient. Just say that. In your heart you say, I forgive everyone, forget it. That will help very much. These two centers are little constricted, and that's why we have to be careful that we do not constrict it more. So you forgive everyone and you forgive yourself. Very simple. Now your hands are like these. Now, please put your right hand towards me and left hand on top of your fontanelle bone area. And see for yourself if there's a cool or a hot breeze is coming out of your head. Just imagine, in such a short time it has worked out. So see for yourself if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area, which was the soft bone in your child. Please try with the left hand. Put the right hand towards me. You can move your hand up and down on the sides. And do not say it is there if it is not there, please. We have not to cheat ourselves, but we have to be honest. Now, please bend your head and see. You bend your head and see yourself if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Now, put your left hand towards me like this. And with the right hand, you see now, if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. It is hot because you have not yet forgiven. You have to forgive yourself and you have to forgive others. Because of that, it is still hot. Bend your head and see for yourself. You can move your hand up and down and see for yourself. This is a hot or a cold breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Now, please put your right hand towards you. Again, and with the left hand, you see if there's a cold or hot breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Just see once. Now, please put both your hands towards me. Just like this. Because I told you the sympathetic is here. It has to work through sympathetic. Both the hands towards me like that. Now just see, please see that there's a cool or a hot breeze coming on your palm or maybe through your fingers. Just see. Now you don't think. You watch me and don't think. Just don't think. All those who have felt cool or hot breeze on their fingertips or on the palm or out of the fontanelle bone area. Please raise both your hands. That's it. May God bless you all. May God bless you. It's great. Some people didn't feel, very few, all right? But we'll see what's the matter, why they didn't feel. They will. No doubt, every one of you should get it. Very few didn't feel it. I'm very much thankful to you. I look forward to Berkeley people to work it out. Because you have a special position as seekers here, and it should help the whole world. So may God bless you.
Hello, friends. For all those people who have felt it, congratulations. And for some of the people who haven't felt the cool breeze on their hands, we will do this exercise again with the help of slides. So here we request you to have both of your hands palms open. We'll have the left hand open. Right hand is what we will use for the 5 steps that we are going to do now. The first step which we would do would be putting our right hand on the heart on the left hand side. And here we will say, I am the spirit. For now, just I will explain the 5 steps. Later, we will do these steps with eyes closed. Step 2, we'll take the same right hand and put it between the neck and the shoulder on the left hand side and turn our head to the right. And here we'll say, I'm not guilty. These are all the false notations that we have built over the years. So we say, I'm not guilty. Step 3, we'll take our right hand and put it on our forehead. And here we will say, I forgive everybody, including myself. Step 4, we'll take our right hand and put it on the back of the head and raise our head towards the ceiling and say, Oh Divine, please forgive me for any mistakes that I may have committed knowingly or unknowingly. Step 5, we'll take our right hand and put it on top of our head, the fontanelle bone area, and rotate in the clockwise direction 7 times. And here we'll say, Oh Mother Kundalini, please establish silence within me. Please give me my self-realization. We will do that 7 times. Now, I request you all to put both your palms open, close your eyes, and we'll do the same steps with eyes closed. Please close your eyes. Now, we'll put our left hand open towards the screen, towards Shri Mataji, with a notation that, Shri Mataji, I don't know meditation and I would want to learn meditation. So left palm remains open towards Shri Mataji. Right hand is what we will use. We'll take our right hand and do the step 1. Right hand on the left heart. And here we will tell the absolute truth. And the absolute truth is, Mother, I am a spirit. Mother, I am a spirit. I am a spirit. I am a spirit. Step 2, we'll take our right hand and put it between the neck on the left side, neck and the shoulder, and turn our head to the right. And here we will say, Mother, since I'm a spirit, how can I be guilty? I am not guilty. I am not guilty. Mother, I am not guilty. Mother, I am not guilty. Step 3, we'll take our right hand and put it on our forehead and bend our head towards Mother Earth. And here we will say, Mother, I forgive everyone, including myself. Mother, I forgive everyone, including myself. Mother, I forgive everyone, including myself. Step 4, we'll take our right hand, put it on the back of the head, raise our head towards the ceiling. And here we will say, Mother, please forgive me for any mistakes I have done knowingly or unknowingly. Mother, please forgive me for any mistakes I have done knowingly or unknowingly. Last step, have your right hand fingers wide open. Put the center of your right palm on top of the head on the fontanel bone area and rotate the scalp in the clockwise direction 7 times. And every time we rotate, we'll say, Mother, please establish the silence in me. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Oh, 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 Mother, please give me my yoga, the union with the all-pervading power. One last time. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Now keep the hand pressed there and observe what's happening in your left palm, the fingertips, the center of the palm. Also observe what's happening on your right palm, the fingertips, the center of the palm. Now slowly lift your right palm 1 inch above the head and observe what's happening between top of the head and your right palm. Observing that, slowly bring back your right palm back on your lap. Observe what's happening in your left palm, the fingertips, the center of the palm. Now observe what's happening in your right palm, the fingertips, the center of the palm. And now observe what's happening on top of your head. Keep your eyes closed and observe what's happening on top of your head. Now take your left palm and put it 1 to 2 inches on top of the head. Your left palm 1 to 2 inches on top of the head and move it up and down to observe and feel if there is any cool breeze or hot air coming from inside the head like magnetic vibrations hitting your left palm. Now bring back your left palm back on your lap. Take your right palm 1 to 2 inches on top of the head and move it up and down. Observe if there is any feeling of cool air or hot air or magnetic flux coming from inside the head and hitting your right palm. Now bring back your right palm back on your lap. One last time, we'll take our left hand 1 to 2 inches on top of the head and move it up and down. Observe if the force of the cool air or hot air is much more prominent than earlier. Now bring back both your palms back on your lap. Observe what's happening in both your palms. Observe what's happening on top of your head. And we'll stay in this state of meditation for a few minutes, which is a state of thoughtless awareness. Thank you, friends. You can slowly open your eyes. Now, this is a practice that we don't have to spend a lot of time. This is a practice that we suggest that you do 10 minutes in a day, either in the morning or in the evening. The best time to do this is between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. or whichever time before you get down from the bed. Probably you can sit in the bed and do this practice 10 minutes. We do have clearance techniques that we will cover in the subsequent sessions. And if you want to continue this practice on a regular basis, and it really helps to go to the nearest centers near you, where you can experience this in a much more profound way and you can go much deeper. All these centers are run freely. There is no fee that is charged. And if you go to the website sahajayoga.org.in, you would see a list of all centers in your nearby location. If you want to practice meditation at home, you have the website www.freemeditation.com, and you also have the website www.onlinemeditation.org. Friends, thank you very much for joining this webinar. We will have follow-up webinars. Please look out for invites. Thank you.
I would like to thank all the attendees for joining and going through this session. As Mr. Ram mentioned that Sahaja Yoga is practiced across the globe. In every city you will find centers. One important thing, these centers are always free of cost. There is no charge, any fee ever charged for Sahaja Yoga meditation. So, you can browse on the internet. You just have to write Sahaja Yoga Meditation Center and you will find multiple centers within a city, and you can go to a nearby center. And we'll keep doing these webinars more. So stay tuned to these webinars. Once again, thanks all of you for joining us. Thank you.